Hi, this is Nancy Anthony, and this is my screencast of my 5E lesson titled That Magnetic Dog. The materials needed for this lesson are listed here. On the left, the class only would need one set of magnet warning signs and one of each of the books, That Magnetic Dog by Bruce Watley and Magnetic and Non-Magnetic by Angela Royston. On the right side, the list of materials are needed per the team of 3 or 4 students. Here are the Next Generation Science Standards Performance Expectations, as well as the lesson objectives. So students will use data to construct a reasonable explanation, as well as communicate investigations and explanations. Students will also understand that magnets attract and repel each other and certain kinds of other materials, and understand that objects can be described by the properties of the materials from which they are made, and those properties can be used to separate or sort a group of objects or materials. The differentiation strategies for diverse learners are listed. Students will be engaged in various ways of learning, such as listening to the story read aloud, participating in discussions, engaging in hands-on learning, and reflecting by sharing information with fellow students. Prior to the lesson, the teacher will pre-teach the vocabulary that will be in the lesson during small group period. Okay, now for the 5 Gs. For engagement, the teacher will capture the student's interest by reading the book, That Magnetic Dog, to the class. Some questions that can be asked of the students before reading the book. One of them is, what do you think this book might be about? After reading the book, the teacher can ask the following questions. Why does the author describe the dog as magnetic? Have you ever heard the word magnetic used to describe someone? What does magnetic mean? The students should be engaged in the lesson and excited to learn about magnets. They should be asking themselves the following questions. What does it mean to be magnetic? What objects are magnetic? And can a dog be magnetic? For exploration, students will start by predicting which items will be attracted to the magnet. They will draw pictures of those items, and then they will circle the items that they predict will be magnetic. Next, they'll be conducting a hands-on activity using the objects and a magnet. They'll work in teams with a shoebox filled with magnetic and non-magnetic items, and they will see which items catch on the magnet. The big idea questions that the teacher will ask that will help encourage and focus students' exploration are, what type of items do you think are attracted to a magnet? Why do you think those items will be attracted to the magnet? For explanation, students will work with group members to create a poster, and they will use that poster to present their findings to the class. After they've created their posters, the teacher will ask the following questions. What items did the magnet pick up? What do those items have in common? Were you surprised by any of the results? And this is when each group will develop a one-sentence hypothesis about what the items that were caught by the magnet have in common. Students will then share their hypothesis at the same time they present their poster. After group presentations, the teacher will show students that a penny is made of metal, but it's not attracted to a magnetic. Students will ask themselves, what is special about the metal objects that were attracted to the magnet? The teacher will then show students the book, Magnetic and Non-Magnetic, and ask the following questions. Is this a fiction or nonfiction book? How can you tell? The teacher will explain that the book is nonfiction and that it might help them discover what is special about the objects that are attracted to the magnet. After reading the book, the teacher will ask the students what special material is in the items that the magnet picked up. What do we call the items that are attracted to a magnet? What do we call items that are not attracted to the magnetic? Next, students will finally label the objects on their posters as magnetic or non-magnetic. For elaboration, the teacher will reread the first page of That Magnetic Dog, which states, magnets attract metal objects like keys and spoons. Based on what students have learned through exploration, they should be able to correct the inaccurate information in the sentence. So the teacher will ask the following question. Is the sentence, magnets attract metal objects, entirely correct? How could we rewrite that sentence to make it more scientific and correct? Students should understand that magnets do not attract all metal objects, only those containing iron or steel. This can be demonstrated by using a magnet to touch keys, and it can be explained that keys are made with zinc to prevent rusting and therefore are not magnetic. Students will learn the words magnetic, non-magnetic, iron, steel, zinc, and attract to help them connect their observations. Knowledge of magnetic and non-magnetic items can be applied in our daily lives by understanding the damaging effects magnets have on electronics, such as computers, televisions, and hard disks. The magnetic warning signs that are listed in the material list can be placed on classroom electronics so students can connect the idea that magnets should not be close to certain electronics. For evaluation, the teacher will ask students to think about what would happen if they woke up to find that their feet had been turned to magnets. Working as a class and using chart paper, the teacher will write this story. Throughout the process, students will be asked the following questions. What things would be attracted to your feet and why? What things would not be attracted to your feet and why? What kinds of problems would you have if your feet were magnets? What kinds of advantages or special powers might you have? Students will then be given a blank white piece of paper to illustrate the story. Students will be able to demonstrate that they have achieved the lesson objectives by correctly identifying magnetic objects, understanding that not all metal is magnetic, only those containing iron or steel. This will be shown by the group poster, hypothesis, and contribution to the class story, as well as the students' illustrations. Thank you for watching.